So I live in New York City. It's great. There are so many modes of transportation: taxis, the subway, apps, and something called feet. Lots of people don't even own a car. One popular way to see Central Park is to be hauled around by someone in a top hat while staring at the back of a horse. You might say, Mo, that's strange. Where the heck did that come from? Well, I'm glad you asked. Where that came from might be attributed to wide open spaces and the need for a better way to move around. Curator of Transportation Matt Anderson and I met in the wide open spaces of Greenfield Village to talk about the ingenuity of those early innovators. We know when the first automobiles appeared on the road. When do we start seeing horse-drawn carriages?
Well, horse-drawn vehicles in general are really as old as domesticated horses, so we're talking probably 5,000 years ago at least. The horse-drawn carriage, as we think of it today, as a lightweight vehicle for carrying people and goods, really only dates to the late 1600s.
Are there milestones in the evolution of the horse-drawn carriage?
The earliest would be what we see right here. This is an example from the late 19th century. It's the basic all-around farm wagon. This is your utility hauler. You use it to haul crops around the field or maybe take them to market. You go pick up supplies. You could even carry people in this.
Okay, but I don't see any place for people to sit comfortably.
Yes, not a luxury model by any standards. It's analogous to a modern pickup truck where you just have a bed in the back for carrying as much as you could. And if you had people, they'd typically just pile into the back.
When I think horse and buggy, I don't think this.
You're probably more often thinking about passenger-carrying vehicles when you think about horse-drawn carriages.
And when do we see those? I mean, I know I've seen plenty of them in old movies.
Yep, and those start to appear in the late 1600s as well, but for many years, they're only for wealthy buyers. They were simply too expensive for everyday folks to have one.
What about a horse-drawn vehicle meant to convey a group of people?
Well, our modern buses, like you see on city streets everywhere, can be traced back to a vehicle introduced in France about 1820. There it was called the omnibus, which comes from the Latin word meaning for all.
That's where bus comes from.
Exactly, just a shortened version of omnibus. And it was an enclosed vehicle with room for up to 12, maybe even 20 passengers, depending on how they crowded in there.
Climbing aboard an omnibus such as this one, you can sit and watch the world go by. Remembering these horse-drawn modes of moving around are not really that different from today's versions, which also run on horsepower. Not a bad way to travel.
No, it beats hoofing it, so to speak.